Welcome to Wealth Creation Series, where we learn and grow together with one goal, the goal of creating wealth. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to this channel.
Welcome back, everyone. Warren Buffett is buying a Japanese companies. He purchased a stake in 5 different Japanese companies valued at around $6 billion. So they have spent a lot of money in Japan, and we are going to talk about these companies. People are pointing up that Japan has a stagnant GDP, and so why would he buy companies in a country that has a stagnant GDP? And we'll discuss that. In the other news, we have a news that AT&T is looking to sell Directv. I think that is good news for AT&T, as it has been a terrible investment for them, and they are going to lose a lot of money with this investment. They purchased in 2015 for around $49 billion, and now they are going to sell it for around $20 billion. But despite this huge loss, I think this is moving in the right direction for the AT&T, and so I'll explain why I think it's good for the shareholders. After which, in the second part, we'll talk about the laws of growth by Maxwell. In order to grow yourself, I feel reading is very important. Reading helps you save years in making mistakes and helps one get insights on topics which experts devoted years to understand. Having a growth mindset is absolutely critical to one's self-development, which in turn propels you towards success. Hence, I will talk about this fantastic book I came across in the second part of this episode. If you learned something new, or if you like this episode, please hit the like and subscribe button, because that helps the channel out a lot. So let's get into the news that Warren Buffett made a purchase of a combined value of $6 billion of 5 different Japanese companies, and that has surprised many people. Warren Buffett typically likes to focus on the US. He's done very little investment outside of the US. And a lot of the people are puzzled of why he is doing that and why did he choose Japan. Now, Japan has a stagnant economy and aging population, so it doesn't make any sense for people why he is buying these 5 different companies over there. Let's go ahead and try to answer some of these questions about these companies. Out of the lot, Mitsubishi is the only recognizable one. Since Mitsubishi is a giant corporation and we have seen some of their cars here on the US roads, but I have not heard about the other 4, which are Itochu, Moribini, Mitsui, and Sumitomo. Shares of all these companies rose by 4 to 10% after the announcement was made. These 5 companies are often called trading companies. They all have stakes in a variety of businesses, including interest in energy and mining. We know that Warren Buffett likes to buy energy companies. He has made purchase of Dominion Energy earlier this year. You can go and check out that video where we have a deeper dive into that transaction. Mitsubishi and Itoshi each control major convenience store chains in Japan, and so they have holdings in all these different companies. We are reading articles like these which show Japan's GDP shrinking over 27% this year, and coupled with aging population, it's not the best place to invest. However, when you think that we are living in a global economy, the companies that you invest in are not limited to the countries they reside in. A lot of these US tech companies don't just do business in US. For instance, Apple just doesn't do business only in the US but also China and India. Same goes for Amazon and Facebook. TikTok is a Japanese app, but the majority of the following is out here in the US and other countries around the world like India. All of these companies are global companies and have joint venture partnerships and operations around the world. They purchase stakes in different companies outside Japan. This means that these companies do not need to rely on Japanese economy to grow, and they have a shot at participating in the world economy. The US market has rich valuations just now, and these Japanese companies are fairly valued, which make them a perfect play for Warren. So I don't think we should be shocked about this purchase. Up next on the news, rumors are out that AT&T is looking to sell Directv. This is something that has not been completed yet, but at the same time we are not even sure that these are just rumors, that they are trying to sell out the company. AT&T bought Directv for $49 billion 5 years ago. The potential buyers include Apollo Global Management and Platinum Equity. I do not know these companies, but I think it would be a better deal for the shareholders of AT&T due to two main reasons. The first reason would be it would streamline its pay TV business. Some of 7 million AT&T's television subscribers have deserted the business since mid 2018. That business has bled viewers for years as they cut the cord and signed up for streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. AT&T's initial response to streaming shift Directv now was a bundle of channels which would cost $50 to $70 a month, making it far too pricey and complex to challenge Netflix, Disney, Hulu and other streaming services. And now they can focus on their streaming services HBO Max, which the company wants to. The other reason number 2 would be that AT&T's purchase of Directv, Time Warner and the AWS-3 spectrum licenses has significantly increased its long-term debt, which stood at around $147 billion last quarter. AT&T sold some of their assets, including cell towers, data centers, and stakes in game show networks and Hulu to reduce the debt load in recent years, but selling Directv would significantly accelerate the process. Stock price of AT&T is declining and it is very difficult for investors to grasp on this, why it's trading in a $30 range, because that's very cheap valuation for the company and the valuation has not gone up in a while. If you see the valuation of the other competitor companies, they have been exploding and AT&T is still stagnant. I think that's because of the nature of the business, which is very complicated for people to understand, and selling of Directv is something that will help the company streamline their efforts and gives shareholders the value, because I think that the Directv investment is one of the worst investments they have made in a long time, and once they have offloaded it, it would be a good move and the company would be in a good position to be in the growth again, and they can again start focusing on their best assets. Now for the second part of our episode, we'll discuss this book which I got. It's called John Maxwell 15 Laws of Growth, and I think it's, you might wonder why would you talk about a book on a wealth creation channel, and I would say the answer to that is that not many of us are born with great wealth, nor do we have a lot of money to invest, because money creates money, and in order to create money you need to work, people need to grow, not only just have a job or a business, but growth is important as well. You want to grow in your career, you want to go to the next ladder, you want to climb on the next step to the corporate ladder. And I'm going to disagree with you if you said that reading books and growing is not a part of wealth creation, and that is why I'm going to present you this book and what I've learned from this book. This book talks about growth gap traps, which are basically, if you kind of assume you'd automatically grow, and if you don't have an intention towards growing or becoming that person you want, and if you keep saying that it's not the right time to begin and that you must find the best time to start, and the longer you wait to do something, the more likely it won't happen. You have to get moving and you have to take that first step you want to do it, and you should not be afraid to make mistakes. Growing is messy and you'll probably look foolish, but if you overcome or making mistakes and failures, you'll welcome your mistakes and you'll grow from them. And you need to get inspired. No matter what you feel, you just have to go and do it. You have to forget about getting not being motivated. You have to act like you are already being motivated. With that being said, let's move on to the first law, the law of intentionality. Think about how far you can go, not how long will it take. Make the most out of what's been given to you. You don't say when I'll do it, but you have to do it now, and you have to say it 50 times day and night to reach where you want to be. You have to face your fears and have faith that you'll conquer them. Change from accidental to intentional growth. Insist on starting today and don't wait for growth to come. Persevere, follow through, and take risks. You must know yourself to grow. Start with the truth. Explore yourself, explore your growth, and focus on your passion. You need to be intentional. The second law is law of awareness. This is where you ask yourself these hard questions, which are like, do you like what you're doing? What do you like to do? Can you do what you would like to do? Do you know the difference between what you want and what you're good at? Do you know what drives you and gives you satisfaction? Do you know what you want and do you do what you want to do? Also, do you know people who do what you want to do? You should ask all these searching questions, and what you like to do should match up with what you can do and want to do. And that's something which will help you understand what you should be doing with your life, because if you like what you do, you would be good at it, no matter what anybody says. The third law is the law of mirrors, in which you have to recognize your own value to begin with and add to it. The way you can build your self-image is you should guard your self-talk. Self-talk comes from upbringing. Why needlessly add to your problems with negative self-talk? So make sure it's positive. You have to stop comparing yourself to others. You either become discouraged or proud. You only compare yourself to you, and you have to move beyond your limiting beliefs, and that will make you great. If you limit what you will do, you will limit what you can do. You should add value to others. It's hard to feel sad about yourself if you do something good for someone. So do the right thing even though if it's hard. Be true to yourself and your values. Practice small discipline daily in specific areas of your life. Apply this in an area of your life that seems overwhelming. Celebrate small victories. Embrace a positive vision of yourself and life. Practice one word strategy. Select one word to best describe you. What you focus on expands. Take responsibility of your life and know what you matter. Make a list of 100 best personal qualities you have and choose one word that describes you. And then track your positive and negative self-talk. Note different ways you add value to the other people, and this way the law of mirror will help you. The law of reflection states that you should stop, pause, and allow yourself to catch up. Always add value and exceed expectations. Reflections turn experience into insights and evaluate your experience. Pause with the intention to enrich reflection and learning. When you take time to pause, you should investigate all the truths that are easy to understand once you discover them. You should focus on insights that are relevant to you. Ask personal awareness questions such as, what is my biggest asset? What is my biggest liability? What is my highest high? What is my lowest low? And what is the best habit and my worst habit? What is most fulfilling? What do I prize most highly? Ask yourself these questions in the area you want to reflect on. The fifth law is law of consistency. Over years, you need to think about, do you know what you need to improve upon, and develop yourself to be successful when you expand and open your possibilities. Do you know how you're supposed to improve? A common mistake is attempting too much too soon. You need to be patient because impatience stems from unrealistic expectations, and then you would give up too soon. Life goals are reached by annual goals, daily goals, and habits. So focus on today. In addition to how and what, it is important to know why, because it gives you staying power. Understand the relationship between motivation and discipline. Give yourself more and bigger whys because small steps compound. Be consistently productive. Great people are inspired because they are working and not working because they are inspired. Develop the habits of success because your habits lead you to your destiny. Don't be goal conscious, be growth conscious. Keep growing beyond your goals. Don't set goals that are too small, but develop a daily growth system that plays to your personality strengths. The law of environment says that you need to assess your environment and you need to change who you want to spend your time with. You should spend time with people who you associate with your reference group. Associated with expansive people further along their growth journey than you. People who are positive, more successful, have integrity and constantly growing. Find an accountability partner if you have to. Challenge yourself in a new environment. You need to be intentional to find these growth opportunities. And finally, move on despite criticism. Don't wait, create the life you want. Whatever your course you decide upon, someone will always tell you that you're wrong. Someone's opinion of you does not have to be your reality. Make your own decisions. The next law is law of design. The law of design states that you have to create a system that is effective and that maximizes your time. You have to paint the big picture and ensure that your values and priorities are consistent. Make a system where you can measure the outcomes. Be biased towards the action and organize yourself. Be repeatable, simple, and straightforward. Ask yourself, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? And use your response to shape the system you use. Identify when is your prime productive time, and avoid distractions. If you create a system, this will help you propel forward. That's in short the law of design. Law number 8, the law of pain, states that good management of bad experience leads to great growth. Every problem introduces a person to himself. It is up to the person to take that disappointment, conflict, change, bad health, hard decisions, and responsibility and make it into a good experience. You have to choose a positive stance on life. Life is not the way it's supposed to be, it is the way it is. You can decide how you cope with it. You should embrace and develop your creativity because most of bad experiences help you find new opportunities and possibilities. Take responsibility of your life. Don't be a victim. Be accountable for your life. Law number 9 is the law of ladder, which states that character growth determines the height of your personal success. Base your business dealings and day-to-day dealings on values and principles. Focus more on core character than on competence. You should pay attention to your potential more than your success and be who you should be, not only what you want to be. Also, you have to think about how much time are you spending learning versus your material things. How much time are you spending in serving others? Law number 10 is law of the rubber band. You need to keep your band stretched from where you are to where you want to be. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So be sure you are trying to stretch yourself out to the maximum of your potentiality. The next law of trade-offs suggests that we don't always get what we want, but we will always get what we want and choose. That means that we might have to give up some things which we don't want, which we want just now, in order for what we want to get in the future. The law of curiosity says that growth is stimulated by asking the question why. Curiosity opens options, because when you ask the question why yourself, you make yourself open to new experiences, a new perspective of thinking. You have to be an abundant thinker about how can I as opposed to can I. You have to wonder where do you want to focus most of your time and energy. Always keep a beginner's mindset no matter how expert you get, and make a list of people you spend the time most with each week. Are they curious like you and like to learn new things, or are you afraid to fail and take yourself too seriously? So do something that is completely out of your zone. The law of modeling states that you need to find role models whom you can learn from, whom you can connect and ask the right questions, people who have already been where you want to be. And that will help you when you are stuck in a situation or you need to think outside the box, because that's what good mentors will help you get out of. The law of expansion states that potential within us is limitless, and we usually create our own limits. We have to replace the question with can I with how can I, and give yourself the chance to overcome what you attempt. If you know you couldn't fail, test your limits. You have to start thinking one door and start thinking many doors. Look for multiple answers. Give yourself options. If you can change your thinking, you can change your life. You should stop doing what you were doing before in order to do something new or get somewhere new you want to be. The last law, the law of contribution, says that growing yourself enables you to grow others. Help others because we are all one. We should do good today. What good did you do today is the question you should ask every day to yourself. You should be a river, not a reservoir. Give as you receive. Be grateful. Put people first. Be compassionate with the aging, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant for the weak and strong. Don't let the stuff you own, have, or don't have come in the way of your mindset of helping people. Don't let people own you. You always give more than you receive, and you should never keep the score. You should keep growing and keep giving to people in order to grow yourself. Put people first in your life. If you like what you've heard, and if you want to read the complete book, I'll put a link of it in the video below. Remember that I'm not promoting this book, nor am I receiving any commission or anything for it. It's just something I came across and I like, and I wanted to share across with my viewers.
Alright, so this is it for this week. I hope you liked this episode of the Wealth Creation series. I will bring in more ideas for financial success next week. If you did like the video, learned something new, or just enjoyed listening, please give me a thumbs up by pressing the like and subscribe button. I make these videos for entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed advisor. Please do your own research before investing.